So welcome back to the March's Basic Sampler here at Close to Home in Southington. So you're going to bring in your completed February's basic block beginning this Saturday, March 16th. And you have until April 30th to do so to receive your March kit free. And also this weekend, Saturday, March 16th, we will have Select Finish the Bolts for 50% off. We have classes forming here in Southington, the Little Star Shower. We have a 5-week beginning quilting class, a 2-week kids camp in the summer. We're doing the Mega Dream Bag, and you can certainly sign up for Creative Sewing Club or Embroidery Club and join us to make projects. For the month of March, we have the Viking Platinum Q165 long arm quilting machine with your choice of either a 5-foot frame or sit-down table for just $3,999, which is a really good price. It does have stitch regulation, so I think you're going to like getting those quilt tops finished. Okay, you can come check it out. It's on our floor for you to try. So, basic March, we're going to go into an Eleanor Burns pattern. And the shape that is in this pattern is called the On Point template. Okay, this is the block that we're going to be doing. We've done strip sets in January, so I won't be going over the strip sets with you, or very briefly I should say, but we're really going to concentrate on this unit, which is called the On Point. What you're going to need to cut from the sable, which is our strip sets, is 2-inch strips at 19, the whole width of the fabric. The whole width of the fabric, 2-inch by 19-inch. The dark seed, the one in the center or the middle of the strip set, is going to be cut at 1.5, same size. The feathers, I need a 10-inch square. The white, we're going to cut 2 3-inch strips and cut those into 6-inch rectangles. And of course our center block is a 4.5-inch block. So let's get started. We'll talk real quick about the strip set and move on to the tools we're needing for the On Point. So I've cut my 2-inch strips. I've cut my 1.5-inch dark seed. And what I've done, I've sewed them together and I pressed them toward the dark seed. So all you're going to do from this strip set is you're going to want to make sure that your strip is 4.5 inches all the way across the entire strip. You don't want any fluctuation, nice straight strips. The first thing you want to do is trim it off, and then you're going to yield 4 4.5-inch units. Okay, the center is cut at 4.5, so that's all done. This is the On Point. So let's get right to the On Point. It is an Eleanor Burns pattern called Autumn Leaves. It's a quilt in a day pattern, and this is the ruler. It's, as you can see, you see the template, and this is 4.5, exactly the size we need, including our seam allowances and everything. So we're going to build this, and then we're going to trim it down, and that's pretty much it. So let's get started. All right, hold that off. The first thing we want to do is cut our feathers 10-inch. So I'm just going to start, this is a 12-inch ruler. Just going to start with a nice, easy square right here at 10-inch. All right, I like the 12.5-inch ruler. It really does hold it nice and steady. Again, I just want to trim off a little piece making sure that my parallel lines I've just cut are at the top and bottom. And now these are going to be square. I'll turn it around one more time and get 10-inch. There we are. The next thing we're going to do is draw our lines. We're going to use a friction pen, and we're going to draw lines that are 2.5 inches in from every corner. So I'm going to take my ruler, measure 2.5. I have my friction pen. I'm just going to make a little mark here at 2.5 on every side. 1, 2.5. 2.5. 1, 2.5. 1, 2.5. From here, 1, 2, and then my last side, 2.5 in, and then 1, 2.5. Okay, so these marks we're going to connect across, and everything's going to meet in the center. So where it has the 2.5 mark here, we're going to line that up across but opposite. I know it's a little silly, but we're going to go across the square opposite side. All right, we'll do this one. And then we'll do the other two. Okay, turn it. We'll do this one again, this corner to the opposite corner. And as you can see, they're all meeting up right here in the center. So drawing the line actually before cutting it makes you really think about the 2.5, making sure we have a 2.5 on every corner and that it all meets up. And now what we want to do is cut on those lines. And we're going to save the corners, but we're going to get rid of these little triangles that are extra. All right? All right, so get out your ruler. And this is the one I probably should have brought my rotating mat, because this is a really nice way to get all the sides without moving your 10-inch square. Don't move, just pick up nice and gentle. Again, go to the 2.5-inch mark on each side and cut. And we're going to go to the 2.5-inch. I have to come over here, sorry. I mean, if you don't want to draw the lines, you just want to go for it, go ahead, but just be careful that you're picking up your ruler and just laying it down without moving any of your fabrics. All right. There we are. All right, so we're going to discard. We're going to use the corners and discard these triangle pieces. Okay, these are the pieces we're going to use, and we can go ahead and get rid of those. All right. Next thing we want to do is prepare the white sides for this block. So I was supposed to cut this. I'm going to fold it, and that way at least I know my blocks are going to be right side up and right side down, because I need 2 of the 3x6s right side up, and I need 2 of the 3x6s right side down. So let's measure over 3. And 3. Okay, and now these need to be 6 inches wide, so I'll just put them right on top of each other and cut 6-inch. Get a little trim and cut the fold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get that right into the corner and cut the fold. All right, so I have 2 up, 2 down. That's what I need. By folding it over, I have exactly what I need, and we just want to make sure that we have 2 right side up and 2 right side down, and then we're going to cut on the diagonal once, and this is going to form a lefty and a righty. All right, so all I'm going to do is separate these 2, and then this one's the opposite. This one's the same, and this one's the opposite. Flip that over and flip this one over. All right, so these points, all these points come right down into the middle of our block. So I'm just going to line these up. As you can see, I have this, this, and this going on. All right, there's a lot of extra down here, which we're going to need because we need it in the seam allowance down here. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is take all our left sides, and we're going to flip our on point corner unit so that we get a little piece of the white edge showing. So this should be 1/4 inch. You want to come right in where this valley is and start your stitching all the way down. You can stop when you run out of fabric, but this little valley is really important. If it's too much, it will, and you sew it 1/4, it will have like a little jog up here, and we don't want that. All right, so let's go ahead. Give ourselves a little valley, and we'll go sew this. So I'm just going to do the one, and then you can do all 4. Okay, here we go. So right in the valley, nice 1/4 inch. And remember, this is a really kind of a wonky bias right here, so please be sure that you do put your Mary Ellen's Best Press on your kit before you cut your shapes. It will just help keep everything lined up. Okay, so here's the first one, and as you can see, we came right out the little valley right there. All right, so we're going to press this towards the triangle. So triangle on top, give it a little bit of heat, and we're just going to press that. If you want, you can finger press it first, otherwise it tends to distort just a tad. So I'll just give that a little bit of heat. And then what we're going to do is, because we have to add this side, we're going to trim away this white part down here. Okay, so I'll show you that, and we'll add the next piece. Come on over. So we're going to take our ruler, just line it up with the edge, and we're going to trim this right there. Okay. So now we have the righties, same thing. We're going to turn this, and maybe it'd be easier if I turned it over so you saw what the white was sticking out. Here we go. Just enough for 1/4 inch of a seam, and again all the way down nice and straight. Okay, since I sew on the right, I'm just going to flip that over. But you sew however works for you. All right. And don't forget, we are going to trim this. So if you're off just a little bit, don't panic. It's absolutely fine. Make sure both of your raw edges are lined up right on top of each other. Nothing shifts underneath. And once again, we're going to press toward the triangle. So one more pressing. What I like to do is give it a little bit of a finger press first, and then I'll hit it with the iron. So you have a nice straight edge going across with a little dog ear sticking up. Same with this one. And now all we're going to do is use our template from the pattern, the autumn leaves pattern, and we're going to trim it. And that is going to be it. So grab my template. Now this does not have any gripper on it. It does have a tendency to want to slide a little bit, so I always recommend putting InvisiGrip by OmniGrid underneath the ruler, and it really holds it. So we're going to line up the green marks with the seams, get it right down into the corner so everything lines up, and we have our 1/4 of an inch all the way around. And again, I wish I had brought my rotating mat, because this is a nice way to do it. But I'll just wing it around, reset it. Yeah, looks good. Hold on to it. I kind of put my pinky up against it because it has a tendency, I have a tendency to, push up against the template. And if I'm on this side, I put my thumb over here, again, pushing into it. There's our template, and there's our unit. So we're going to make our strip sets. We're going to make our on point units, and of course our 4.5 inch center, and it's a 9 patch. Go ahead and sew them together. There's nothing really to match at this point in the block. The only thing you really should be matching up are these 90-degree corners, making sure that the intersection has a seam going in opposite directions. Okay. I hope you like March's block. It is here at Close to Home. Please come in and get it, and I'll see you on Saturday to pick up your kits. Thank you.